Hello and welcome to episode 3 of this Bristol Rovers Football Manager 26 save. A little bit late in uploading this in terms of the date in game. I usually do it right at the end of the transfer window, but we've had a bit of a crisis that I will show you shortly. So first thing I think really we need to go through is the transfers in and out, and you'll notice there's a lot of free agents that have come in. So first of all, Ryan Longman is our new right winger, and he started the season reasonably well in that position. Lewis Brunt has come in as a defensive midfielder who can also play as part of the back four in pretty much any position as well. Josh Feeney, a central defender, is going to be with, you've got Kilgore, we've got Ellison, and now we've got Feeney that are going to be our three main options in those positions. Ben Winterburn can also play in that position, but is mainly in as a defensive midfielder. Kerr Smith is another one that's going to be able to play as part of that rotation, as well as a central defender. We've got Ryan Barnett, who has come in, who is a right winger that's played fairly regularly since he's arrived. Isaac Heath can play on the left, and he's our second choice left winger now. And then Kyle McAdam, you'll notice, is on loan at Rotherham. Signed him and loaned him out. He's one with quite a lot of potential. As is Scott Hamilton, a young striker that's come in and then gone out on loan to Oldham. And then if I sort the transfer deals, we'll get to those in a minute, but we've sent a lot of our young players out on loan. So players that featured a bit last season, Jack Toogood has gone to Burton. Hapgood and Iwiru have both gone to Barrow. Tom English we let go permanently. He's a young player that was never going to quite reach the level we needed, and he went to Boston. Kian Noble, young central defender, has gone out on loan to Exeter. I showed you Kyle McAdam a minute ago. He's now at Rotherham. Habib Sunday, who played quite a few games last season, is out on loan at Barnet, and he's someone actually that looks like he's playing really well at Barnet. He's got a lot of potential as well, already playing games for Nigeria's under-21s, I think, or under-20s. Beardmore played a few times last season. The defensive midfielder is out on loan at Crewe. Hamilton already showed you is now at Oldham. Barrington we've loaned out to Burton, the central midfielder that can play in the attacking positions. Pagano is the Italian right back or right winger. As soon as he turned 17, we've loaned him out to Bromley. A little bit disappointing that he hasn't played yet. Chang will end up going permanently because he's got we've agreed a fee at the end of that loan, but Exeter only wanted him on loan initially. Moxley on loan to Burton as well. A little bit disappointing that he's not playing regularly, so I might have to try and do something about that. Then Riz Bridger has gone to Enfield Town on loan. Then the two big transfers. Not a huge fee for Southern Hells, but as one of the older players and someone that we had effectively replaced, and we've obviously got Pagano that's going to come in and be able to be a right back next season when he's back from Bromley. So we let Southern Hells go, and then really an offer that we couldn't turn down for Jed Ward. Rising to 1.3 million, I think, in total, or maybe it's only going to be the 1.1 because we mortgaged the other payments. But just over $1 million for a goalkeeper at this level we couldn't really turn down, but that is where we have a bit of a crisis, because if I take you to the squad, we haven't been able to replace him. Eddie Beach has started the season in goal and has done okay so far, but isn't great. And if I take you to the transfer activity, you'll see how many goalkeepers we've tried. And we tried, as soon as we knew he was leaving, we've tried players on loan, we've tried permanents, but no one is interested at all. So we're having to stick with Beach for the time being. I'll have to look in January and hope that Beach can get us through to that point. Who knows, maybe he'll improve to the point where he then becomes viable actually long term, but at the moment he is our starting goalkeeper. This has been the team, so you'll see that Brunt at the moment is coming at right back. He was a defensive midfielder, and Sutton Smith fulfills that role, but Smith isn't particularly great going forward, which is what we need really with an inside forward on that side, although arguably we could try Barnett as a winger, and then what I will do for the next game would be this, which is Smith as a right back who can be a bit more cautious in that position. Let's swap these two over as well. So he can be a slightly more cautious inside fullback to try and get the best out of him. And then we could even go with Mola, slightly more aggressive on that side, and use Longman as an inside forward. But I think for now we'll keep it as we had it, or we'll put Mola as a fullback. So Brunt, the new midfielder, with Allen and White, who had good seasons last year, and then the two new wingers, Barnett and Longman. And we've been rotating between Promise and Kevin up front. I think we'll go back to Kevin again now the Promise's form has dropped off a little bit. So that is how we are looking at the moment. In terms of the rest of the squad, we've got Slater. Fox has been a good option. He's played in the cup games, but again, a more experienced player who will probably move on at the end of the season. Slater's a young player in the same position. We're going to keep Howley around because he's a good replacement in that defensive midfield role, and in fact for the next game he will be on the bench. Thomas and Senior are both, well, Senior's now unregistered because we had to clear some positions, but those three, or Thomas and Senior in particular, are both happy to just be around as squad players, which is perfect because they both cover quite a lot of roles. And then we've got Kilgore, who is fighting for his place a little bit. The fact that he can play at right back is useful. But we've got two younger centre-backs now that have displaced him with both a lot of potential. So Kilgore is someone that's been in the Cups, and we'll probably find that he'll come in and retake one of those centre-back places if the form of the other two drop off. In terms of how we've done then so far, it's been kind of what I expected at the start of this season. A real set of mixed results. We lost on the opening day to Blackpool. We won at home to Doncaster, lost the two away games, including Portsmouth in the League Cup. Beat Colchester, lost to MK Dons, lost on penalties to Brentford under 21s, drew away. It was quite a good result away at Preston. If we can keep winning our home games, we can pick up the odd draw away and finish kind of mid-table somewhere in the playoffs. That would be a really good season. But I'll be back at the end of January when hopefully we'll have an update on our goalkeeper situation, and hopefully we'll have kept shuffling our way up the League One table. Hello, so we have reached the end of the January window, and we are definitely in a bit of a crisis because although, as the table shows you, we are 17th and I'm reasonably distant now from the relegation zone, having had a reasonable set of results over the last month or so, we have a big issue, and I'll show you that in a second. We were really struggling before having a really good January where we won 4 out of the 7 games, and so we have just started to turn a corner on that front. The issue we have is that we are completely broke. If I show you the budgets, you'll see we're currently spending 20,000 more than the board want us to. The wage budget was about 150,000. They've slashed about 30% off the wage budget mid-season, and the impact of that is that we can't renew any contracts. We didn't have any offers for anybody that we could sell to try and resolve that issue. And so realistically, we are facing losing the whole squad at the end of this season, basically. And that includes someone like Hapgood, someone like Too Good, both of whom are good prospects, but also by far our best player. Habib Sunday came back from loan, has done pretty well since he's come back at the start of January. He's worth over 6 million, but he's gone. We can't sign him to a new contract. There's no money to do that. He only wants 1.4k a week, but if I go to contract negotiations, no matter what, we then get this issue where all we can offer him is £110, and there's nothing we can do. He's not going to accept anything remotely like that, so he's gone. I think this is a really stupid thing, to be honest, because any board, any finance individual is going to look at that situation and say, it doesn't matter what we do, we have to sign him to a new contract. We'll pay whatever we can to do so, to then sell him for 6 or so million, but instead we're going to just fall into further debt and also at the same time lose all of our players. So I think the next time I give you an update, it's probably going to be that it's pretty much game over as far as this save goes, because I'm not sure how we're going to be able to deal with no players and no money simultaneously come the summer. It's good we've got an offer in for one of our players. Once the window is closed, hopefully at least that might free up a bit of wage budget for future planning, but it's really not looking good. So next update, hopefully we do stay up, and hopefully we find some kind of resolution to the awful mess we're in. Hello, so we have reached the end of season number 3, and there's 2 different updates really. The first one is what happened on the pitch, which was a much better end to the season than the way it started. After a real disastrous December, which was just before the last update, and a mixed set of results in January, we struggled through February again with only 1 win at home to Charlton, but we did draw away at Bradford. But then once we reached March, we only suffered 1 defeat after that, and went on a really good run, including 7 games unbeaten to finish the season, which, if I take you to League One and the table, I think I can do it this way. Table, there we go. We finished comfortably above the relegation zone in the end, 15 points clear because of that really good finish of the season in 15th, which for our first season in League One I'm more than happy with. But it was a bit touch and go during most of the season. When it comes to the squad, the issue that we had in the last update I gave you is still the case, with lots of players out of contract and being unwilling to sign new contracts. In some cases, so Thomas, Howley, and Alfie Kilgore, I'm not really that bothered. More than happy to have those guys move on because they're on good wages and they're not really having much of an impact. But where that is an issue is people like Habib Sunday, with all of his immense potential. He had a really bad season, to be honest. He really didn't feature that often, and when he did, he played quite poorly. He isn't willing to sign a new contract. Neither are any of these guys that are due to run out of contracts in it's 2 months' time. But obviously, it's not that long, given it's the end of the season already. So we have a few issues on that front. In terms of our recruitment, we haven't been able to, again, because of this issue with not having any money, we haven't really been able to line up anyone to come in on a free contract, with one exception. And that is, if I take you to transfer history, will probably do it. Let's see, can I see it this way? I don't think I can. If I go to transfer activity, possibly. No. We did have Tom Lockyer lined up with a contract agreed, but I can't seem to show you that at the moment. Maybe if I search for Lockyer. Let's see. No, it seems to... Oh, yeah, he's already accepted a contract offer. Hopefully that's ours. Again, he's going to be quite a nice replacement for Kilgore, really, with that experience as he has been in the real life season. So that is that, really. The start of episode 4 and season 4 is hopefully going to be me with an update on the situation with all of these out of contract players. We are going to have to let a lot of them go anyway, just because we can't afford them, and hopefully we can then kind of establish ourselves with the young core that we have next season. We've got Hapgood, we've got Mullin, who's been our goalkeeper, who's actually taken that first team goalkeeping spot towards the end of the season, so I can give an opportunity to see what it's like next season. Too Good is signed on for next season, as are Feeney, Winterburn and Smith. So there's quite a lot of potential here in players that are staying. Ellison we're still going to have, Brunt we're still going to have, Heath is still going to be a part of the squad next season as well. So hopefully we can do something what we've got, but we are definitely going to have to say goodbye to some of these higher earners. If an offer comes in for Longman, for example, I'm probably going to have to let him go. The same with Brunt, given the money they're on and how desperate a situation we are in. But that is going to be the end of the episode, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Please leave a like and subscribe to see more in this series, and I'll be back for episode 4 with the start of the 28-29, which will be the 4th season for us in this series.